One Wednesday, we were all in class, and Professor Benjamin said, "Hey, we're doing an iMovie. Form your groups, figure out a place." And Jason and I thought, African burial ground. We recruited Jack and Caitlin. Caitlin asked, "What is the African burial ground?" I didn't really know, I just knew that there was a very big circle. So on another Wednesday morning, we all piled onto the 6 train and took it to the last stop, Brooklyn Bridge City Hall. We got lost at first because Jack took us the wrong way, but then we saw it, a big circle right on Duane Street, and it looked just like this.
Tara, that's not what it looked like.
Fine.
And now history!
In 1991, during the construction of a General Services Administration office building in Lower Manhattan, graves were discovered 24 feet below ground. The graves that were uncovered were just a small portion of the hundreds of African Americans who were buried underneath the ground. The African American community wanted to preserve the site in honor of its ancestors and the hardships they went through in the slavery ages.
Anthropologists instead found 419 sets of remains and started the process for excavation and studies, but the African American community was outraged and maintained that the excavation was disrespectful. Due to activists who maintained the importance of this site, the site was named a National Historic Landmark in 1993, and the 419 sets of remains and the items buried with these people were returned to the site, never to be disturbed again. In 2006, President Bush designated the site as a national monument.
This poem on the exterior of the monument is a testament to the meaning of the African National Burial Ground, which is to preserve the history and stories of those buried here who were forgotten so many centuries ago. It is a story of resilience in the face of adversity, the brutality of a previous era, a legacy of horrible atrocities like slavery, but also it imparts on us a lesson of never forgetting the origins of these people.
We were feeling inspired, so we decided to read a poem.
By Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind, floats downstream to the curved ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky.
But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing.
Caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft in sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his home.
Caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, his shadow shouts on the nightmare stream, his wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing.
The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longs for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Right now we're inside of an upside-down slave ship. It's said that on the Day of Judgment, the Africans will rise up from their graves and take the ship and head back to their home, Africa. The entire ship is filled with images of symbolism. The ship's length itself is supposed to be how far to meet the circle of diaspora the Africans are from us.
The entire monument is covered with African symbols that were hand-carved by Nigerians into the granite. The Sankofa, for example, is not only inscribed onto the exterior of the ship, but also shown on the glass window across from the monument. The symbol is meant to symbolize the ability to learn from the past. When the Africans rise up from their graves and take the ship back to Africa, they are also taking with them the hardships they went through in New York City and applying values like hope, faith, and unity to the afterlife. And that brings us to this very moment. We learned so much about the history of the African burial ground, the hope that the Africans fostered, and about how the African American community fought to commemorate their ancestors. We experienced the sounds of the rushing water, saw the graves and felt the granite. We couldn't transport you to the ground, but we hope that we've inspired you to visit the site and see for yourself. Feel all of the history, learn about all of the symbols, and let the site of the African burial ground itself just embellish.